Low market deals are out here. It's all up to if you know how to get them. You're going to pay market value if you try to negotiate. That's the best you're going to do. You're not going to be able to guarantee that you got a below market deal unless you start using strategies online to see the market. It's very simple. When you start using the internet the way it's designed, you can create competition and you can start to pay less than other people are paying, thousands less, thousands, not even close. What I just got this new vehicle for, it's not even close to what other people are paying for a $54,000 truck. They're paying $600-700 a month for this truck. I'm paying $499. It's just we're different. And I want you to be a person who moves different so that you can start to keep these thousands of dollars in your bank account. Okay, that's the name of the game here. I see you, Ramari. We'll start getting some questions. Hold on, let me jump on to Instagram. Now, let's get the housekeeping out the way. Everything we're going to go over today is going to be sponsored by my new digital book. It's called Car Shopping. Well, it's called Cars from Home. 7 steps to save time, money, and avoid dealerships. We have a blueprint. Everything we're going to teach will always be out of our 7-step system. We don't hold back. Any questions you have, I'm going to be answering them. So start typing your questions now, and you'll see usually someone asks the same question as you. But in that book, it's a 5-star rated book. You can Google it. It's 7 steps from start to finish on how to get below market leases, purchases, and used cars and new cars. That is the blueprint. That's the do-it-yourself blueprint for how to pay less than everyone else. Now, we have a separate program for those of you who want to shop with me. We have a link in my TikTok bio. Now, some of you know we do a welcome offer for our book. For those of you who want to do it yourself, it's normally $97, but for 30 minutes while we're on the stream, you can get the do-it-yourself guide, my new book, for $24, which is 75% off. If you go to my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the YouTube comments, or the Facebook comments, you'll get yours for $24. Make sure as soon as you get your book, though, please screenshot the thank you page so you can have my support team's email. Monday through Friday, anytime you type in your email incorrectly, we can't send you an email with a book. So make sure you have my support team's email. So if you don't see that book there in the next 10 minutes, reach out to them so they can get you your book. Second is for those of you who want to shop together, you want to actually see our videos. You don't want to necessarily read. You want to be able to shop with us virtually and have me coach you, private coaching in our private group. We have over 2,000 people. That link is also in my TikTok bio, Instagram bio, and the comment section. And lastly, we just launched our Done For You service. So we've done this only twice. Each time we've only worked with a couple people. You do have to qualify for that, but that is also in our TikTok bio for our Done For You if you just want us to handle it. So I don't care how you do it. We just make sure we put it out there so that you can get the information you need and you can get the results you want. So let's get to it. Let's bring up that first question. Let me hop on Instagram so I can actually see the questions as they come in. Okay, should I buy a used BMW M3 for $60K with $20,000 down at $670 credit? How do we know that's a good price for the BMW? BMW M3. How do we know that's a good price? See, we don't know what the market is on that. And if I was buying a pre-owned M3, I know what every M3 is priced at within 500 miles of me. The more rare cars, the more you want to go outside of 100 miles. When we shop, we like to know we need to know every used car that is within 100 miles of us. You're buying cars based on cars you see on dealers' lots or on websites, but we're not going where the market is, which is 100 miles at least. If you're looking at a BMW on the website, you should know what every BMW is priced at within 100 miles, minimum, especially the rare cars where dealers will charge you 10, 15, 20 grand because they want to make that much profit on some of these cars. I mean, before you talk about credit, before you talk about how much you're putting down, you should be talking about, am I getting the best price BMW M3 in the market? Because nothing else matters. If you're about to pay 20, 60 grand for a BMW M3 that's used, But you could have, with better strategy, found one for 50 grand, then you overpaid. This is how you lose money. We got to stop focusing on one car and start realizing cars are cookie cutter. There's multiple copies. Every car, I don't care what car you look at, you could be looking at the rarest GT2 Porsche. It's not the only one out there. And what dealers want to convince you and make you think is this is the only one out there with this mileage, with this. No, it's not. And when you start to step back and go to the internet, open up your search radius. When we search for a pre-owned car, we're searching a minimum of 100 miles. And then with, like I said, with a more rare car, I would open it up to 200, 300 miles, because for real, I could save $20,000 getting on a plane and going to California to buy a BMW. I'm doing that. I'm booking that trip. If I see that there's a rare, car and it's 100 miles, it's 500 miles away, I'm getting a plane ticket. If I'm gonna save $15,000 by going to get that car, then that's where I'm getting it from. This is how we shop. You need to see where the market is. So I can't really go into the 20 grand down and all of that. 670 credit, that doesn't really matter. Sounds like you'll be fine in getting a loan. But the first thing you should be concerned with is finding the BMW M3 that is the best price. I teach it in this entire system in my book. It's called the multiple marketplace system. We go on marketplaces, we start to narrow these things down. We cannot be looking at used cars on dealers' lots, falling in love with them, and starting to negotiate with them without even looking at the used car market. That's how we overpay by thousands of dollars. Thousands. All right. Of course, no problem. No problem. No problem. I see you're in Seattle. No problem. Everybody who just jumped on, welcome to Car Shopping Questions and Answers. We do these streams throughout the week to make sure that you can ask the questions you want, get them answered. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm known as Deshone the Auto Advisor. I spent 14 years in the car business, 5 with General Motors, 5 with Mercedes, 4 years running my own brokerage. And now we make sure what we do is we come to the internet. We make sure you guys have the information you need and every way to access it to make sure you pay less than everybody for cars and you never get scammed. That is what we do. And we've helped, thousands of people do it. That's what we're known for. All through the pandemic, doesn't matter. You can see Greg, Tope, you can see Bonita, Danielle, people from all walks of life, women, men, single women, does not matter. If you start to use what we teach, you're going to pay less than everyone else by thousands of dollars. And you're never going to have buyer's remorse. You can't have buyer's remorse when you shop the whole market. Buyer's remorse comes from you not shopping well enough, and then you start to realize you didn't shop well enough, and you start to regret it. That's buyer's remorse. Man, could I have done better? You think I got enough for my trade? And all of this stuff comes from not shopping thoroughly, and then you start to think about it, and that's where your regret comes in. That's buyer's remorse. We eliminate that by showing you how to shop the market correctly. All right. Go ahead, Dolan. Let's go. How do I not get scammed when financing a car? Great question. Separate your financing from the purchase price of the car. When you go in and you look at a car, and the first thing you start to think about is what the monthly payments are going to be, then you're starting to mix two processes that shouldn't be mixed. Most of you have been taught to give dealers 3 transactions. You're buying a car from them, that's 1. You're giving them your loan, that's 2. And some of you trade your car into them, that's 3. That's 3 transactions. Now, how do we know that that's 3 transactions? Well, there's big money in all of them. Banks lend money. They don't sell cars. So there's tons of people who don't sell cars who want to compete for our money, want to compete for our loan. There's tons of companies that buy cars. They don't need you to buy a car from them. They want to compete to buy your old car. This is why you shouldn't be trading. This is why we don't trade here. Everything we do is a bid. So when you ask, how do I not get scammed? And you can continue to type your questions. We'll get to as many questions as we can get to in the next 45 minutes. And get your questions in early, because once we start to get too many, some people's questions don't have a chance to get answered. So start typing them now. Dolan will pull them in. But to answer your question of how don't you get scammed, you separate the transaction and then you bid them out. We use a process we call the bank bidding war. The bank bidding, all of you that are getting a loan, if you're not paying cash, you should be employing a strategy we call the bank bidding war. This is where we let multiple banks, multiple credit unions compete. They fight it out for our loan. Where you're used to just going to the dealership, or you might be used to saying, I'm just going to give the loan to my credit union. This is not properly shopping because you're not giving enough people enough opportunities to compete. So the bank bidding war, it starts before you find the car. What we do is we check to see, are there any special interest rates out there for the car that we're looking at? Any special interest rates? 0%, 0.99%. If there's special interest rates, then there's no reason for us to shop any rates. 1.99, no bank, no credit union is going to beat that. So that's the first round. Are there any special rates? We also need to pay attention to the term. Sometimes they'll give you 0%, but it's for 3 years. Well, a lot of people can't afford those payments if they have to pay it off in 3 years, even if it's no interest. So we want to look at if there's special interest rates and the term. The next step of the bank bidding war happens after we find the car. If there's no special interest rates, we're going to find our car, find the dealer that's going to sell it to us for the lowest price. And then once we secure the car, lock it up, we're going to come and we're going to start letting banks and credit unions bid for our business. Now, this is what the dealers don't want you to know, because the banks don't even want you to know this, because they don't want you shopping. The key, and I want you to hit the like button if you understand this. The key, if you get what I'm about to say, you're going to your mindset will be much, much better in embracing what we do, the Cars from Home way and shopping online. The people who are shopping, who are trying to sell you a car or give you a loan, their mission is to keep you from shopping their competitors. I'm going to say that again. If y'all understand that on TikTok, double tap the screen. The key with the people who are trying to sell you a car or give you a loan is they're trying to stop you from shopping their competitors. If I see the lights going up, if y'all get that, double tap the screen. Just double tap the screen so I know y'all are getting this. Hit the like button if I know, because we try to keep this simple over here. I think we do a great job of making the complex things simple, but unfortunately, it's only for those who are locked in. Y'all know who I'm talking to. Unfortunately, we live in a world where a lot of people are distracted, so we can sit here all day talking about big money and strategy, and unfortunately, everyone's not going to get it because they're just not tapped in. But when I see the likes, I know, all right, y'all are getting this. That's what you have to get. Your mission, when you walk into a car dealership, you have to understand their mission: keep me from shopping their competitors. Your bank, your credit union, their mission: keep you from shopping their competitors. So now that we know that, we make sure we shop competitors, and it makes our lives easy. That's how we make sure we never get scammed on financing. That's how we make sure we never overpay for a car, because we have the best system for shopping competitors in the market. That's all Cars from Home is. Well, we have some protection barriers. We do teach things that, leasing versus buying. We do teach some structure that, you guys need to know, because my God, if you're not leasing, but you're not keeping your cars 8 years, you're losing thousands of dollars not leasing. That is the formula for how I'm seeing people lose more money than not being. It's really like you just haven't learned leasing, and that's one thing. But outside of that, our system teaches you how to get bids. That's what we do. And once you learn that, you're going to get better deals than you ever got. It's going to be easier. You're going to spend less time, because you're going to be making people compete instead of going in there begging. That's what you've been unfortunately programmed to do. Go in and beg, okay, I'm going to take off another $100. Come on, man, you're going to lose this deal over $50. You're just begging for discounts, and that's just not the way you're going to get below market deals. So everything we're talking about is laid out in my new digital book. It's called Cars from Home. 7 steps to saving time, money, and avoiding dealerships. You can Google it. It's 5-star rated. It's normally $97, but as part of my welcome offer, you can get a copy for 75% off, which is $24. In my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the YouTube comments, or the Facebook comments, but it's only for 30 minutes. So after that, price goes back to $97, and it's worth every penny at $97. That'll be one of the most valuable books you own when it comes to your bank account. For those of you who want to shop with me, who want to see, do you qualify for us to shop together? You can go to those same links, and you'll see a shop with Deshone. You see if you qualify there. And then we have a new program where we're shopping for people who are just like Deshone. I know you're teaching this. I know you make it simple, but I prefer for you and your team to do it. Then we have that as well. So you can just get in where you fit in. I don't care where you get in. I just want to make sure that you know we have laid out multiple ways for you to never overpay for a car, not only to never overpay, for you to make sure you pay less than everyone in the market. It's a big difference. Okay? Let's go, Dolan. Let's pull the next question up. If you're paying cash, what is the best approach to getting the best price? Focus on price of the car. If I'm looking at a used car and I'm paying cash, I need to know what every car within 100 miles is selling for. Here's how we narrow down used cars. It's very simple. We're on the marketplaces. It's in my book. I have something called the multiple marketplace strategy. So we're on all the marketplaces: Cars.com, Car Gurus, Carfax, Carvana, CarMax. People say, "Oh, should I look at Carvana? Should I look at CarMax?" Yes, but not exclusively. They're just one of the marketplaces, so we want to see all their inventory. And then what we're doing is we're narrowing it down based on title history of the cars. And then once we put our filters in, the first thing we want to do is assess the market. Once we put in our, budget, type of car, we want to look at where the low prices, where the high prices, and we want to look at where the low prices are, and we're going to see that those are typically going to be, cars with bad titles, rentals, salvage titles, frame damage, but we still need to know where the low side of the market is. Then we're going to narrow it down based on the title history. We're going to narrow it down based on service records. We do not buy a used car. Some of your problem is you're buying used cars that don't have great service records. That's a huge problem. Outside of the title history, what's on that title, some of you are buying used cars and you don't have great service records. You don't know how to look at accidents. You're not getting the Carfax. You're using the free auto check. Free auto check and not knowing how to get the Carfax is costing you because auto check does not show service records. So you're looking at the autos you check and it's not giving you what you need to really know if this car was taken care of. So we have a specific process we use. We get the Carfax, then we narrow it down based on accidents. And last thing we do, once we narrow it down there, now we're looking at price. And in order for us to know which used car is the best price, we need to know what the vehicle was originally. What was the new price of the vehicle? See, see, another issue with how dealers have you shopping is you're looking at used cars and you're letting an algorithm tell you if it's a good price or not. And let me tell you why that's bad. Without them knowing how much the original price of that car is, how much equipment was in it, what is the brand new MSRP price, they can't tell you how much discount they're giving you. When you are shopping for a used car, you should be looking and saying, that car has a 42% discount from when it was new. This car has a 50% discount. This car has a 58% discount. And then you look at the mileage, and you choose the best value. That's what matters with used cars. You can't buy a used car, and this is why, unfortunately, most people don't know if they got a used car deal or not. Because you can't buy a used car. If you've ever bought a used car, type the letter U. If you bought a used car in your life, type the letter U. What's up, lady Alanak Maurice? Good to see you. If you've ever bought a used car in your life, type the letter U. All right, I see you, Y Faith. I see you, Convey. Who's bought a used car? Type the letter U. I see you, Juan Arroya, my fault. Tanya, letter U. Okay, Nitro Thug, Yolanda. Okay, I see you. From now on, all right. So we got a lot of people who bought used cars, base bank robbed. Okay, Jerry. From now on, you lock these things in your mind. Title history, service records, accident history. Then I need to see the new price. Because when I got my Infinity truck, I was looking at 4 Infinity trucks. They all looked the same. They all looked the same. They were all white. They were all between 30,000 and 32,000. But when I pulled the brand new price, I found out that one of them was $46,000 brand new. One was 48, one was 52, and one was 54. So when I looked at, and we have a calculator in my book that does this for you. Once you get the new price, you put it in, and then you put in the asking price, and it'll show you what we call the true value discount. That's what matters. That's what dictates if you're getting a great used car deal. I told you, so now there's 2 parts to that. You must get a great used car. That's the first part. If you notice, we screen that down to get a good used car first. Title history, service records, accident history. But then we move into the numbers. Those first things have nothing to do with the numbers. That has to do with making sure you get a quality car. When it comes to the numbers, we need to know the original price. We need to see. Sometimes, I'll give you an example. Sometimes a guy comes in, he has a super loaded out BMW, all the special packages, features, and when he goes and trades that car in, he takes such a hit on it because they don't give him any of the value for all of those packages. They pay him the same amount of money that they would pay for a car without those packages. Now, they turn around and they list that car. You might see 2 cars that are asking the same price, but one of them has $15,000 in extra packages in it. You'll never know this. And this is why you're picking the wrong cars. We have to see what's in the new car, what's in the car, how much was it when it was new, so we know what the packages are and we know what the true discount is. That's what matters. That's what matters. It's just different strategies and these things you have to unlearn because, again, the car business makes a lot of money for you not understanding this, for you buying used cars based on anything else than what we just talked about. There's no financial justification for the price that you're paying. That's just how people during the pandemic, you were going out, people bought used cars that were the exact same price as a new car. People were buying people were buying Toyota Camrys for $28,000 that was 3 years old. Meanwhile, the Toyota Camry brand new was $28,000. Had they been employing this strategy, that would have never happened because they would have known, you're selling me the same price as this car was new. Y'all clear? Type $signs if y'all are clear on that before we move on to the next question. We must have the new price. And again, I show you how to do this in the book. You can go on, you can get it from some brands get it from the Carfax, some brands you get it from online, and sometimes if you have to pay $5 for it, that's what you do. See, when people come in to get car deals, you need to approach this. If you want to get great car deals and save thousands of dollars and get these deals you guys hear us talk about in the streams, I show all of these people who've been using this stuff for 2-3 years. You want to get these deals, you have to actually take it seriously because we're shopping very easily, very simply. We're not out here in the market spending hours in dealerships, but we don't accidentally get these deals. You don't accidentally get $27,000 off a vehicle like Milligan got, or $20,000 off a vehicle like Sean got. You don't accidentally get these things. Ansley gets a $58,000 QX60. He's paying $554 a month, no money down on his lease. You don't get these deals without having a specific set of steps. And all of these steps are laid out in my new digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. You can get your copy for, it's normally $97, but it's part of my welcome offer. You can get it for $24 in my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the YouTube comments, or the Facebook comments, but it's only for 30 minutes. That's my welcome offer. And for those of you who want to shop together, see if you qualify for us to shop together, I have a program where we do that. We've done that for over 2,000 people. A lot of them you see here when I share their pictures. This is in our private Facebook group. There's information on that there. But again, I just want you to look at the results. You have people who look at Ansley. Here's what I want you to focus on before we move to the next question. Money saved and time invested. See, if I had a bunch of people and they're using what we teach, they're saving thousands of dollars, but it's taking them days, then that's not as good as Ansley saying, I started the process Saturday, accepted a deal Monday. We're turning around no money down below market deals in 48 to 72 hours from home. So not only are we saving more money than everyone is saving, we're actually not spending more than 20, 30 minutes in a car dealership. Ever. So this is the difference. We're in a whole different world over here. It's like oil and water. Okay? Type your question. And then Corinne, it's in my Instagram bio. She said, can you repeat the instructions on purchasing the book? It's in my, so it's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealers. You can Google it. It's 5-star rated. It's normally $97, but in my TikTok bio, Instagram bio, the YouTube comments, or the Facebook comments is a link to save 75%. So you'll get your copy for $24, but it's only for 30 minutes. And in those same bios is the link to, you'll see a button that says Shop with Deshone. You can see if we qualify. Some of you, it's 3 things. It's do it yourself, it's done with you, and then we just launched our done for you program. This is 3 different types of people. We realize this. There's people all around the country who, listen, you have the means, you have the resources. No matter how easy we make it for you to shop the market from home, you don't want to do it. That's fine. That's who our new shop for you process is for. And we understand that these are for different people. All we want to make sure is we have something for everyone. If you're a do-it-yourself person, grab the blueprint. It's the ultimate guide to getting below market deals. If you're done with you and you want us to work together, you want to join my group, we have coaching calls twice a month, then you can do that. But if you are done for you, Deshone, you and your team just do it, we have that. So it's all about what you want. And if you just want to sit here and ask questions and do it yourself, that's fine too. Because I don't hold back on anything. Just ask the question and let's get to it. Go ahead, Dolan. What's a good price on a new 2024 Yukon XL Denali? You'll never know until you shop the market. Give you an example. I could tell you 5,000 off. We're just guessing. You have no idea what the dealer who's going to sell you the the Yukon for, see, let me explain something that just happened with me when I picked up this Infiniti. I had a friend of mine who always, when I ran my brokerage in New Jersey, he used to always beat everybody. He used to always beat everybody, and he would call me for when I needed an Infiniti. He always won the bid, and he called me, and I got a price from him, and he said, look, Deshone, because, he's one of the few people I've talked to, because he's like, Deshone, I was taking $5,000 off, plus giving you the rebates. And I said, well, somebody beat your offer by $70 a month. He said, that's impossible. Turns out this dealer had a special value coupon that they used. They applied to the deal, and they saved me over $8,000. You have no idea the difference in prices. As much as I try to show you, I can show you stuff like Teddy. The people who use what we teach would tell you, you must shop multiple dealers, because it's the only way that you're going to see how different the dealer's prices are. One dealer is going to sell you, look at Teddy's deal. He got a $73,000 BMW. He leased it. He got thousands off it because his best deal was $856 a month. $856 a month on a $73,000 BMW, no money down. 73,000. Some of you know every $5,000 when you're looking at a car. If you're new here, you won't know this, but some of you who've been with us know when you're looking at a car, every $5,000 is about how much per month on a loan. What is the monthly payment going to be? Every $5,000 is how much per month. So we can let the new people know on here how much this $73,000 car really should have cost if he purchased this. Let's see. Does anybody know? Not $25. That's every thousand. Thank you, Jim Walsh. That's good. Now, what you just said, DKM, you're see, some people will look and say every $1,000. You can use that, but we typically go every 5,000. You know, every 1,000, depending on the interest rate, could be $20 to $25 a month. But yeah, we'll look and say 100. And so when you look at a vehicle that's $20,000, you should be saying to yourself, if I want to purchase this vehicle, if I'm getting a $20,000 loan, that's $400 a month. See, and I'm going to tell you, somebody came in on here and they asked, could we get a car? First of all, let's wrap up on why I put Teddy's deal up here. You guys can see his worst offer, his highest offer was $1,123 a month. So that dealer who made him, that was that dealer's best offer. Pay attention to that. $1,123 a month was some dealer's best offer. They said to Teddy, that's the best we can do. Take it or leave it. Which means they would rather sell the car to someone else than to take off more money for Teddy. And that's what you have to understand. When you're dealing with one dealer, the reason why trying to negotiate is a loss, because when you get to the point where that dealer says, that's my best offer, you think this is the best I could get. But where you're missing it as, that's only that dealer's best offer. When you go to the market and start to get at least 4 other offers, you're going to see that dealer's best offer is not necessarily going to be this dealer's best offer. And that's not going to be this other dealer's best offer. That's why your power is at home. You cannot do what we're telling you to do in dealers. Talking numbers in dealers, it's forbidden in the Cars from Home system. Anyone who is talking numbers with dealers, you didn't use what we were teaching. Some people will write me, Deshone, I was in the dealer the other day. I used everything that you said, man. I was in there, man, for a couple of hours and they was trying to get me. And I just kept referring back to your videos. I said, listen, God bless you. I don't say this to them because, but you didn't use what I teach. If you were in a dealer for more than 30 minutes, and if you were discussing numbers in the dealer, you didn't use what I teach. Now, if you said, Deshone, man, I did this whole deal from home, man. Then I went in, man. I was only there for 20 minutes to sign the paperwork. Now you're talking. Now that's a person who used what we teach. You see how different it is? You cannot, you have no leverage inside the dealers. You can't see other dealers' prices. You can't get multiple offers, and you're just going to be stuck there emotional because you're going to want to get it over with, and eventually you're going to cave in. But going back to the question that prompted this whole thing, how much can I get off of a Yukon XL Denali? You won't know until you actually shop the market and get at least 5 offers for a Yukon. And you can't assume anything. You can't assume, well, I think if they give me 7,000 off, that would be good. Well, what happens if you were supposed to look at Sean got 20,000 off. Kimberly got 20,000 off her Maserati. And the reason why I showed the difference is because Sean got an electric vehicle, so he had not just a big discount, he got a rebate. Kimberly didn't. Kimberly bought a straight up Maserati. They took off $20,700. So if she would have went in trying to ask the same question, trying to eliminate most of you are going to get excited by a couple $1,000s off. And that's the problem. Because if Kimberly had got excited when that Maserati dealer said, hey, I'll take off $10,000, then she never would have saved 20. There's no way to know the bottom on a vehicle except you. And look, if you want to do it your way, whoever asked this question, if you want to do it your way, let's say I didn't know what I know. I didn't know we have all the scripts written out for you to do this online without talking to dealers. I say I didn't know that. I'm calling around and talking to managers and trying to get at least 5 prices. If you want to talk and try to get on the phone with the general manager or the sales manager or somebody who can get you 5 prices, I'm not going to accept an offer without 5 prices. And neither is anyone who listens to me, because they've already seen the difference in the offers. When you shop the right way, your offer should be $5,000 difference minimum. If you shop the right way, your best offer should be $150 a month less than the worst offer minimum. I just paid $499 for this Infiniti QX60 that I just got. My highest offer, they was talking in the sevens. In the sevens. That's what they're supposed to do. 4 out of 5 dealers are not going to go below a certain amount. That's just what they're not. They would rather pass on the deal because some other sucker is going to come in with no skills and pay this price. So why would I take off this much money for you when someone who has no skills, no strategy is going to come in, ask for this car, and I can sell it to them? That's how the 80% do. That's why going in and negotiating with them is always a losing strategy. You get to the bottom, you're at their bottom. Look, listen, that's the worst. Man, I took off $4,000, man. That's the best we gonna do. We don't even do that for most people. And here you are thinking, well, I guess I won. Meanwhile, it's another deal that'll take off 10. Go ahead, Dolan. Gotta shop the market. It's a shopping issue. How do I get out of a car I did not know was in an accident when I brought it? Buyer beware. Unfortunately, there's no way. Now, you can get out of it, but you're going to lose money. You can go right now and find out what the buyers will pay for that car. We do not trade cars in. We usually sell them because we like to bid this out. So somebody will tell you, anyone who if there's nobody who's teaching you to save the most money on cars and to make them, if they're teaching you to trade them in. Because there's just no way. We have 6 buyers we use. It's step 2 in our process. It's called the equity assessment. Cash buyers, big companies, dealers, and online used car buyers who literally will make an offer on your car and pick it up, or you bring it to an inspection station and they write you a check for it. And they pay more than most car dealerships are going to pay. This is Carvana, Driveway, CarMax, Car Gurus, Auto Nation, and Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer. That's 6 cash offers. People have made thousands of dollars not trading their cars and selling it to these people. Thousands of dollars more. So the first thing you want to do is find out, what is that car even worth? Go to those websites, CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, Car Gurus, Auto Nation. That's 6 cash offers. Takes 20 minutes to do. Put your information in there. Find out how bad the damage is. Call your bank. Find out what your payoff is. That's going to be how much you owe, and then find out what the damage is. If you see that you owe 25 and the highest offer is 15, then that means you need to stay in that car, unless you want to roll over $10,000 of negative equity to something else. There's ways to do that. But you shouldn't be buying another car. You should be going into a lease. This negative equity thing, this is a huge problem. There's people on here, I know you have negative equity every single transaction you do. You come in, your car isn't worth what you owe. Why is that happening, Deshone? Because you don't lease. It's very simple. You're not a long-term purchase person, but you take out 5, 6, and 7-year loans, God forbid, 7-year loans. We never take a loan longer than 6 years. And then you replace the cars before the loan is paid off. So you always have a payment, and then you're always paying a high payment because you purchased the whole car, but yet you don't keep the car long enough to even pay off the loan. Every transaction you have negative equity, and the you're wasting a minimum of $5,000 a year doing this. Minimum. Because you cannot compare below market lease deals. I'm not talking to you about these lease deals you see on commercials. I wouldn't even call those lease deals. I wouldn't even call them lease deals. That's just, deals are not advertised on commercials. When the price I just paid for my Infiniti, they wouldn't advertise that to the public. The price that Zafrina paid for her Jeep Grand Cherokee lease, look, $579 a month, $65,000 vehicle. They wouldn't advertise this to the public. No money down. The price Charles paid for his Hyundai Palisade lease, $49,000 vehicle, $597 a month. They're not advertising these. These are below market lease. So don't think when you hear me talk about lease prices, I'm talking about these commercials. We do no money down leases and we pay cents on the dollar. So that's what you need to do first. Assess the equity, see if you have negative equity or positive equity. Go to those sites and realize this. With cars, once you make a bad decision, it's done. It's done. There's no right of there's no unroll a contract. That's why you notice you don't see many dealerships being sued. You notice that, right? We got 100,000 used car dealers in this country. You don't see a lawsuit for a car dealership every other week. Why? We know people are making bad decisions, but why? Because the contracts are ironclad. The contracts with cars are so well written. You absorb all liability. It is your loss. If you make a bad decision, there is no lawyer taking the case because you found out the car that was in an accident. You signed. They see you literally sign saying, I take on any, it's my fault if anything goes wrong. That's why lawyers don't take these cases, which is why you should be doing everything you can to make sure before you purchase a vehicle that you have made the best decision in terms of quality and price. It's very simple. Quality car, below market price. Can't have one without the other. Can't have a great price, below market price, but the car is breaking down. It's in the shop every 3 months. And you can't have a great car that you overpaid for. You didn't get the best price. You didn't get a below market price. So we need to get both. That's what we do. That's what the Cars from Home system teaches you to do. So now everything I'm laying out, if you're like, Deshone, I don't want to remember any of this. I'm not going to remember all of this. Well, give me the blueprint. The do-it-yourself blueprint is my new digital book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. You can Google it. It's 5-star rated. You'll see it all online. You'll see the people who've reviewed it, how they've used it. And it's normally $97, but as part of my welcome offer, you can get a copy in my TikTok bio, Instagram bio, the link in the YouTube comments or the link in the Facebook comments. You can activate 75% off. So, but it's only for 30 minutes. So you got to get there before the 30-minute timer's up, and you get your copy for $24, which is 75% off. And you'll have all of this stuff, everything I teach step by step to how to get below market leases, purchases, new cars, used cars, high mileage drivers. You guys have an entirely different battle as high mileage drivers. You're driving 18, 20,000 miles a year. You are destroying the value of the vehicle. You desperately need to understand if you're a long-term or short-term person, because you're just depreciating your cars way worse than anyone else. I remember being at the dealerships when Uber first took off, and people were coming in 3-4 years later, and they had Hondas with 250,000 miles on them. And that's not the problem. The problem is they still owed 15 grand on a loan. And they just didn't really understand how to structure their loans. And then most likely they weren't getting good prices on the cars. So you have different problems that you need to address when you're a high mileage driver. That's all in there. For the next 30 minutes, you can get the welcome offer, 75% off. TikTok bio, Instagram bio, YouTube comments, or the Facebook comments. We also have a program where we shop together. Some of you see me sharing all of these people from our Facebook groups. We have a private Facebook group. And so you can click the link that says Shop with Deshone, see if you qualify. That program, everyone is not going to qualify for. But if you do, we can work together potentially. And I'll be coaching you. We do coaching calls twice a month. And then we have our Facebook group where you get, you talk to me and 1,500 other people that's in that group in the last 3 years. So get in where you fit in. The goal is just make sure you make sure you get a below market deal. I don't care how you get it. I'm not suggesting leasing over financing. I have something called an 8-year rule. Mark, very simple. Let me put this up. Mark says, so you're suggesting lease, and you can get the next one ready, Dolan. We'll bring the next one up after I do this, but this one caught my eye. Mark said, so you're suggesting leasing over financing. This is a very simple rule, and it's step one in our process. I wanted to ask you a question. Everyone on here who's shopping for a car, I want you to type this into the comments. How many years are you keeping the next car? Those of you who you will be shopping, you're shopping now, or you will be shopping in the coming months, how many years are you going to keep your next car? Some of you may have never been asked this before. That's why it's hard for you to answer it. This is the most important question. And this is evidence that the car business has led you wrong. This is the most important question. This is step one in my process. Step one in the Cars from Home system is this question. How many years are you going to keep the next car? When you talk to your daughter's like, Mom, I want a car. Dad, I want a car. First question, how many years are you going to keep it? Before you go used, before you go new, how many years are you going to keep it? Because what some of you are going to find out is this 8-year rule that I created, it's based on math. If you read my book, I lay out the math. I show you how a person who gets below market leases, it's going to take a person who buys at least 8 years to catch up with that person who got below market lease deals. At least 8 years. I'm paying $499 for a $54,000 vehicle. That vehicle, if a person, I put $1,200 out of pocket. I paid my first payment, motor vehicles, and then I paid for documentation fee. $1,200. If a person went and bought the same vehicle that I just got, that vehicle would be, without the taxes included, $1,100 a month, 5-year loan. If we took the taxes, if we took off a discount, a nice discount, let's say we took off another $5,000, so you're talking $1,000 a month. It's nowhere close. It's nowhere close. So the key to understanding when you should buy, when you should lease is something that you want to remember from now on, the 8-year rule. When you ask yourself that question, how many years am I keeping the next vehicle? If it's not 8 years or more, you shop for a below market lease. It has to be at least 8 years for it to make financial sense to purchase the vehicle. Because in the short term, depreciation is going to hurt you too bad. I experienced this and I decided to keep my truck. Some of you know in the streams, I was thinking about replacing my truck because I wasn't going to keep it 8 years, but I knew I was going to lose money. This is when I say the rule is no respecter of person. The rule doesn't care that Sean created it, so it's going to be different. No. I bought this Infiniti truck. It was $54,000 brand new. I got it for $31,000. $54,000 brand new. I got it for $31,000. It was 3 years old, 26,000 miles on it. Phenomenal vehicle. Lots of features in it. Has all the packages. It was a 42% discount. All good. I put down $5,000. I financed the rest. Now, 2 years down the road, I look up and I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I'm gonna keep this vehicle because me and my family have leased for so long. I only tell people buy vehicles you love, and I haven't loved any of these. Not long enough to keep it 8, 10 years. I got some vehicles I love. I had a Mercedes that I was going to keep a long time. Unfortunately, a vehicle hit me and the vehicle was totaled. But anything that we're not planning to keep 10 years, I'm looking at this truck and I said, and watch this. I also saw Ansley's deal on his QX60. I have the used version of this truck. I got a 2020 and I'm watching people that I'm teaching get 554 a month deals. Rosalie got another one. Like I remember Rosalie and Ansley's deals came in within a few weeks of each other. So that was Ansley's deal. Ansley was $58,000 QX60. He's paying $554 a month to lease it, 12,000 miles per year. Then Rosalie gets hers. Where's Rosalie's? And this is what made me say, man, okay, I think I'm going to replace this. Here's Rosalie. Rosalie gets a $59,000, let's just call it $60,000 QX60 for $592 a month. $592 a month. No money down. So I see both of them get these incredible lease deals, and I'm like, I used to lease all my Infinities. And I'm like, man, am I really going to keep this truck? But I did my equity assessment. I called the bank. I found out what I owe. It was a break even. It was a break even. Let's pay attention here because this is the part that matters. It was a break even. What I paid over the next two, I paid $5 something a month for 2 years since I got it. Mind you, keep in mind, I could have leased something, and I know this because I know what my old leases were. The same price I'm paying monthly, I could have leased something brand new with no money down, but I'm like, okay, I'm buying a vehicle, so let's do it. But then I do my math. I see my offers. CarMax makes me the highest offer, and it's at a break even. Same amount I owe is what they're going to give me. So what happened to my money? The vehicle absorbed it. And that is what vehicles do. The vehicle says, you ain't getting this $5,000 down payment back. It didn't go to the dealership because I shopped correctly. The vehicle, the depreciation of the vehicle, I got a great price on it, does not matter. If you don't keep this vehicle long enough, you're never going to see the benefits of purchasing. I know I could have been driving. So the same amount of money that I pay, in fact, less money that I paid because I paid $5 something a month and I gave him $5,000 down to purchase this vehicle. I could have been driving a brand new QX60 for no money down, paying less. I just got this vehicle for $1,200, $499 a month. It's just wrong. We were taught wrong. Leasing, a bunch of ignorant people taught you. If I wasn't in the business, I would be doing the same thing. If I hadn't spent 14 years in the car business looking at these lease deals saying, oh, these deals, when you get a good lease deal, it's so much less than a purchase. It's crazy. And then I started leasing when I was 22. 22. I get my first lease when I worked for Pontiac. I didn't even know what I was doing, but my manager walked me through it. And I saw I got a $20,000 Pontiac G6 for $256 a month. Meanwhile, I had a friend who got a Toyota Corolla for $550 a month. Did they get scammed? No, they bought the vehicle. $22,000 Toyota Corolla. They went in, taxes and fees, financed it. They're paying $500 a month. They got $500 a month plus insurance coming out of their household. I got $256 a month plus insurance coming out of my household. That showed me right then and there. Yo, man, y'all need to understand this leasing. So again, if you're keeping your cars 8 or 10 or 12 years, I'm not talking to you about leasing. I'm not talking to you about leasing. You don't need to think about leasing. If you said, again, first question you ask yourself when you consider a new car, when you want to get a new car, used car, doesn't matter. How many years am I keeping it? It doesn't matter. Somebody puts based on the reliability. That doesn't matter. You should never go into a vehicle transaction planning for a vehicle with less than good reliability. You should never, ever go into, and it depends on, I'm going to keep the vehicle depending on how long it lasts. You should never, ever, that is such a bad strategy to go into a vehicle purchase with, which means you're not going to do what's necessary to make sure the vehicle you're getting is a reliable vehicle that will last the distance. You're going and saying, basically, whatever happens, happen. Man, if I get the vehicle, it break down, the transmission goes out in 2 years, that's how long I'm going to keep it. No. You need to have a better strategy than that. We have a much better strategy for you to follow than that. That leaves everything up to chance that shouldn't be left up to chance. These are things you can do. You can dictate what kind of car I'm going to buy. We have a step in our process where every vehicle you are looking at, you need to do this. Doesn't matter if you're looking at a new vehicle, used vehicle, does not matter. We have something we call a initial quality check, a longevity check, and a reliability check. This takes 5 minutes to do. You must do this with every vehicle. Let's say I'm looking at a 2024 Range Rover. I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to type in 2024 Range Rover initial quality. And that's going to tell me, the first articles on Google will tell me everything I need to know. Initial quality tells us what people who own the vehicle are saying about it in the first 90 days. Brand new cars only. When a new vehicle comes into the market, brand new vehicle, it's a 2020 whatever, initial quality, what are people saying the first 90 days? Is the technology easy to use? Is the car in the shop? Initial quality. The second thing we're going to do is 2024 Range Rover reliability. Reliability tells us what we're going to look for the first 3 years. What are people saying the first 3 years? And you're going to skim these articles, and then you're going to see any red flags there, any less than average reliability, anything that sticks out. If you see a car has a 7 out of 10 reliability score, that's something to keep in mind. And for those who are purchasing your cars and you want to keep them long term, see, because again, this person said, who we're making this statement for, it depends on how long the vehicle lasts, is based on how I'm gonna keep it. I'll type in 2018 Nissan Altima longevity. Longevity is going to tell us what are people saying about the car in the long run. Will this car last 200,000 miles? You'll see owner's report transmission issues at 100,000 miles. Isn't that good to know? These simple steps. You know how many people are buying cars right now and the transmission is about to go out? You know how many people have a car right now and the transmission's out? Why? They have 90,000 miles on the car. They bought it at 80,000. And if they would have just typed into Google 2018 Nissan Sentra longevity, they would have saw, bloop, bloop. Most owners report the transmission goes out 80,000 miles. Type $ if you understand that. That would have saved that person. Type a $ if you're clear on that. That's simple. These things take 5 minutes to do. We're not talking about hours in process. We're talking about things that literally take 5 minutes to do. It's just you have to unlearn not doing them. You were taught, oh, go get a car on the weekend. Who taught you that? Go to the grocery store, pop into a car dealership, come home with a car by accident. Who taught you that you could win doing that? The car dealers they love you do that. Come on in. Hey, I know you weren't planning on getting a car. Let's make a $40,000 decision in 3 hours. You wouldn't start a business that way. If you were about to invest in the stock market and make a $40,000 decision, it would take you, how long would you be doing research? If you were about to buy a $40,000 house, doesn't really exist anymore, but let's say it's remote parts of the country where you can get a $40,000 shack. Even if it was a shack, you would be doing tons of research, correct? Yes, right? It's just a small house. It's not a $400,000, $500,000 house. $40,000 shack. We getting a realtor. We getting a title company, attorney. We getting all of these people. We're going to have an inspection done on it. But with a car, let's just walk in and let's do it in 4 hours. And it's $1 billion industry because of that. That's why the name of the game is you unlearning everything you were taught about car shopping. You have to unlearn because you didn't learn that on purpose. You were indoctrinated into car buying. Somebody told you this is what you're supposed to do. You just kept doing it, regardless of how bad the results were. Regardless of you driving off and saying, man, I don't really know if I got a good deal. Man, I'm glad that's over. You wouldn't do that with the house. You celebrating the house because you know you did the research. But with the car, you're just happy it's over. Meanwhile, you spent $5,000 more than you should have, $10,000 more than you should have. Meanwhile, you got a car, you overpaid for it, and it's going to be breaking down in 6 months because you didn't realize that you could have looked at the Carfax, saw the service records weren't there, and said, I can't buy that car. There's no service records in the last 20,000 miles. So if you want to make sure that you know what you're doing before you make the decision, because once the decision is made, it's over. You have to eat the loss. You can transfer out of the car, that loss follows you. People think, yo, I made a bad car deal, I'm gonna go and get out of it. No, you're not. You're going to go and you can switch cars, but that baggage is gonna go right to that next car. Once you make a bad car transaction, you have to eat the losses. You might just carry it over and somebody put you in a different car, but now all of that negative equity or whatever, 10 grand negative equity, you're paying for that old car in this car. When you look at your payment, you're like, man, I'm paying $1,000 a month. Yeah, 200 of it is from your old car, the bad decision. So that's why we're about making sure you know what to do before you shake the hand, before you drive off in the dealer in the car. You need to have guaranteed, I got a quality car, I pay less than everyone else. That's what Cars from Home is about. So if you want the entire do-it-yourself system, you're like, Deshone, there's no way I can remember this. I shout out to all the free information on the stream, but give me the step-by-step blueprint. That's my new digital book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's normally $97. It's 5-star rated, but it's part of our welcome offer. You can get your copy for 75% off, only for the next 30 minutes. You go to my TikTok bio, Instagram bio, YouTube comments, or the Facebook comments, click the link there, and you'll activate your 75% off. And you'll get your book for $24. Make sure as soon as you get your book, screenshot the thank you page. Monday through Friday, my support team is there during business hours because some of you are typing your email wrong and you're also not checking your spam box. Check the spam. We have a very sophisticated system that sends out thousands of books. It works. The only way you're not going to see your book is if you type the email correctly or check your spam. So make sure you screenshot the thank you page. Lastly, for those of you who want to work together, we have a program where we actually coach you through your process instead of the do-it-yourself reading. You have videos. You can actually see those links there. It says Shop with Deshone. Everyone's not going to qualify for that, but if you do qualify and that's something you might want to look at, hit the Shop with Deshone button when you hit those links. And then we just launched our Done For You, where those of you who like Deshone, I don't care how much you teach it, I would rather you and your team do it. We have that as well. So no matter where you get in, you want to just watch my free videos, put it together, you can do it. You want to watch my streams and just put all it together, you can do it. And if you want additional support from me, those options are available. But all I care about is when you make your car deal, you are confidently able to send me and anyone else you know the numbers. Pay very close attention to the people who get new cars, never talk about numbers. They'll take the picture all day long. Hey, celebrate, just upgraded, got the new version. They'll never talk numbers. You'll never see a post like these posts that I share all the time. You'll never see, look at India, 2024 Hyundai Elantra she got earlier in the year. Look, $28,000 vehicle, $365 a month, no money down. Did it from home. I think they even delivered the car to her house. $365 a month. This is what some of you need to be looking at for your kids. And for those of you who are going to buy your kids a used car and you're going to pay $300, $400 a month for them, you should be considering, if they're not keeping the car long term, you should be considering leasing them an inexpensive car like a Hyundai Elantra or something we can get a below market deal on. But again, everyone's not paying $365 no money down for a Hyundai Elantra Limited. Some people put $2 grand down. $3,000 down to get the $365 a month. It's all up to knowing how to shop the market, and that's what we do. But again, everyone who sends us deals, they send their numbers. This is where I want you at. You can't see it if you're on TikTok, but if you're on Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook, you can see everyone who gets cars in our group, we send our numbers. Jen, 18,000 mile a year lease she got. I want you excited about the car, but I want you even more excited, or at least equally excited, about the deal you got on the car. That's when you know you did a great job. So, all right. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for everybody who checked in. Everyone who got a book, use it. Follow the steps. Don't jump ahead. Literally use it as a step-by-step guide. Those of you who are working together with me, we'll see you in a group. We'll see you on a coaching call. And those of you who will be shopping for you, then we'll talk to you on your onboarding call. But other than that, we appreciate you. God bless you. Let's keep unlearning so we can relearn.